right, you want to do our intro, Mackenzie?
Yeah.
Totally out of the frame.
What's up, Wednesday?
What's up, Wednesday? All right, we have a very special guest with us. Am I yelling? I don't know. I'm outside, so who knows? A very special guest with us today. None of you know this person, so you're probably like, who is this? This is my friend, Dylan Brooks. He is in Colorado right now, right? You're in Colorado?
Yep.
Yeah. And we're interviewing him because he was teaching in China when the whole coronavirus thing broke out. Has a really interesting perspective, I guess, of kind of the global climate of what's going on right now. So, Dylan, just start us off. Tell us a little bit about your experience teaching when you first went over. You went over about 3 years ago, we talked about, right?
Yeah, so the way it kind of works is I'm certified to teach English as a second language because I wanted to travel. So first place, I just kind of posted my resume, and there were hundreds of offers from China. So then I just kind of had to weed out by myself. You can either go through a recruiter or whatever. I found a school out there, so I've been out there, and I teach at like a secondary school. So it's actually like I teach kids. It's like their extracurricular school for learning English. In China, it's a lot less like sports and things like that for extracurriculars, and kids, they finish school and then they go to some other type of school, usually to practice, something like that. A lot less sports based. But yeah, so then coronavirus, the way that worked was I live in Qingdao. That's around 500 miles away from Wuhan, where it started. And it started in Wuhan around like December. And it was still not really a big thing over there anywhere. And around mid-January, we had
Emerson's thing. Sorry, he just puts on more accessories during the call.
It got really cold.
Carry on.
He's like slowly doing it.
This is his thing. I'm sorry.
He was like trying to do it so no one would notice, but he did it so slow that everyone noticed.
It took me 3 accessories last time for me to notice, so. Okay, sorry. Wuhan, starts with Wuhan.
Well, yeah, so I live around 500 miles away, and it hadn't even really reached my city until mid-January when Chinese New Year started, because during Chinese New Year, everyone in China travels, because that's like their longest, it's a 2-week holiday. And so around like 3-4 days into Chinese New Year, that's when it started to really kick in like it did over here. It just like, it's like overnight. The next day, it's like, oh my God, this is a big thing now. It was crazy. Like everyone said stay inside, and it's their biggest, most traveling holiday, and they canceled everything, and no one had a problem with it. Everyone kind of just like followed the directions out there. Like everyone in my city, there's 11 million people. And when we first got the shutdown order, was like 20 people had it in my city out of 11 million. And at the top time, I think 57 people had it in my city. But everyone.
Sorry. So why do you feel like we haven't done a stellar job? I mean, we're doing okay, right, guys? We're doing okay here. Like, yeah. But we're also a small town, so we're not really like feeling as big of a difference as, you know, a bigger city. Why do you think China was better at it than some of us here?
Well, first of all, just they care a lot about health as their culture. So as soon as if you get any sickness or anything, they're like, go to the hospital, right? If you have a fever ever, go to the hospital.
Wow.
So that's kind of, they really take that serious. And then I also think, because it is a communist government, people kind of, they don't really question it as much over there. They kind of just do, the government said, they're like, hey, stay inside, don't go outside. And then everyone just said, okay.
Okay.
No one freaked out. No one bought all this toilet paper. No one max bought anything. The only thing we ran out of were those masks, because everyone wears those masks over there. and like they wouldn't let you go in places. They took your temperature and you had to have a mask on. Everybody, it didn't matter if you were sick or not. So I think that's their culture, kind of, is the government. If they say to do something, they kind of just do it. You know.
That was something I was gonna ask. Is like just how are they like enforcing it differently here? Because here they say, oh yeah, we recommend that you stay inside and you do all this. Whereas that's a recommendation, but over there, like you said, they're a communist government, and if they, I don't know if that means anything, but I was just curious on how they're handling the situation. But
yeah, they enforce it really strict, like because over there, again, there's so many people. There's not like houses, right? It's all like apartments and apartment complexes and stuff like that. Every apartment complex outside it has like security guards and things like that. So the security guards are pretty much keeping track of you already. They weren't letting, like, if I ordered food, they wouldn't even let the delivery food guys come into the complex.
That's messed up.
And then the craziest part is if I were to go back. So if I were to go back, I would have to go through, no matter what, 2 weeks of quarantine. And I would be back there.
Hey, hold on. Okay, take two.
Sorry, guys.
It's okay. If you were to try to go back.
So if I were to go back earlier, it would have been no matter what 2 weeks of quarantine, and I would have done that in my apartment. I had one friend who went back, and they even installed a camera outside of his apartment door to make sure if he leaves the apartment they see. And every day he had to take his temperature and send his temperature to the police twice a day to make sure that he didn't have a fever. Then after a little while, they required that you have to go to a hotel, like a specific hotel, and that you have to pay for it by yourself. You can't leave the hotel. You can't order your own food. They supply food for you that you have to pay for 2 weeks. And then just like a couple weeks ago, they're not allowing foreigners back in anymore right now. So I'm kind of stuck here until I can go back.
Awful, stuck in beautiful Colorado.
And then if I go back, I'm sure I'm still gonna have to do 2 weeks of quarantine there. So
Oh, like the day leading up to you leaving, or like because you left really quickly. Remember you like posting about that, and you left like really fast, right?
Well, yeah, I had been sitting around, like I said, I've been sitting around in my apartment alone, just watching news, getting updates on my phone, just like day by day. It's getting worse and worse and worse. And I'm like sitting there, I'm like, what should I do? Like, should I just stay here? Should I go back home or what? I also had a trip planned later in that month to go to Thailand, to go to like this dream destination I had been planning. And I was like, am I going to be able to go to Thailand? Like, am I going to get stuck in Thailand? What if I do get sick? If I do get the virus, do I want to be in China? Do I want to be in Thailand? Do I want to be in the US? Right? So I kind of had to make, like, day by day, I didn't even know. And then the day that they told me that they weren't going back to work yet, that was when I was like, all right, I'm going to buy my ticket to the US and cancel my trip to Thailand. So just 2 days, and then I came back to the US. So I just like left my apartment, everything. I didn't really have much time to pack all my stuff, kind of just grabbed some clothes and left.
Is it still your apartment? Like, are you still paying for it, or?
Yeah. Well, my school pays for it, and it's in my contract.
So what have you like noticed significant like differences between like China's experience with Corona and kind of like the US's mentality or whatnot? Like, are there any major differences or similarities that you see, or?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot actually. When I came back to the US, it hadn't kicked in yet, and like a lot of people were joking about it with me and stuff, and I was like, I was over there and I had seen people, like, we hadn't been going back to work, and we hadn't been like it had already been affecting our life. Like we weren't getting paid and things like that. And then people here were making a joke about it, and I'm like, yo, yeah. And then also some people, they'd see me and they'd be like, oh, you came from China? And I'd have like bartenders that would like stay away. They would like, you know, like keep their distance. Like people that would be like, oh, do you have the virus? Did you bring the virus back? Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, well, first of all, I was in 2 weeks of quarantine, and then I came back, and pretty much I haven't had a car since I've been back, anything like that. I've just been at home, you know, like I wasn't prepared to come back. So, but, so like America made it into a big joke at first, it seemed like, and that was kind of, and then it kicked in really hard.
Yeah, I agree. And like, call it ignorance or naivete. I say that? Oh, I just butchered that. Whatever, call it ignorance, but like never having experienced anything. I mean, not that Asia always has a virus, but I feel like there's been more, you know, just that, like you said, being more like conscientious about that, and like going to the hospital when you're sick or going, or whatever. That cultural.
China is a very dirty place. There's a reason they know. Like, you don't wear your shoes inside anybody's place ever, because they know that the ground in the street is so dirty, because people walk around and they spit and they pee on the street and they crap on the side of the street. They do. It's not against the law. People just do it. It's a social norm. Old men, because the pollution's so bad, you always hear the old guys walk around and just loogies all over the place. It's a very dirty place. Like, honestly, I've seen people mop the floor and then they mop the door with the same mop, same water.
Ew.
Right.
It's a very dirty place.
Yes.
There's a reason those viruses start there.
Yeah.
They either start in China or India.
Yeah, it goes out, and that goes like not only that, but just like population. I mean, we got our geography teacher over there in on this interview, but she's went inside. She's not listening anymore. So you didn't have trouble getting out or anything. Like, you were able to get a ticket, and it was.
But I got, because my dad works for United Airlines, so he helped me get the ticket so quickly. And I was talking to the flight attendant, and she said that was the last flight from China that they were allowing. They canceled every other flight after that. So
wow.
Yeah. So I would have been stuck there for that whole time.
Indefinitely, yeah.
As if traveling at airports isn't stressful enough.
Yeah.
And you do all this stuff now. Ugh.
Yeah.
It was just a lot of lines, a lot of like just standing there and having them point the little thermometer to your head and then saying you're good, you know.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, but I did, like, with my crew, I had them answer some questions. So I'm going to ask you guys these questions. Okay. So, the 4 questions that I have asked my crew today. And I'm going to ask them every week.
Questions?
What?
Off the wall questions?
And these aren't off the wall. These aren't off the wall. But they're more general. But they're still having to do with being at home, being away from each other. And so I'm asking them every week what's one thing that they're going to do. One thing that they're going to do for their body, one thing that they're going to do that's good for their soul, one thing that they're going to do to challenge their mind, and one thing that they're going to do for somebody else. So those are the 4 questions. You are all 3 going to answer. Okay? So something good for your body, something good for your soul, something to challenge your mind, and something for someone else. Okay? Mackenzie, you're going first.
Okay. Good for my body. I'm going to, and I have, but we just bought a hammock. I was out there a little bit, but then we got interrupted, so that's why I'm inside. But I'm gonna, like, just be out. The weather's so nice, so, like, sitting in the hammock or, like, going on a walk, like, good things like that. Good for your soul. Actually, this is kind of nerdy, but it's fine. I bought a paint by number, and it's super pretty. It's of like Italy, which is kind of fun. Yay! So I've been working on that. So maybe updates in weeks to come. Probably not. Okay, we'll give you updates weeks to come. I just started, so there's not much. What was the other one? Good for
something to challenge your mind. That's not your school, like not your assignments, but something to challenge your mind that you chose to do.
Challenge my mind. I've been working on this 2,000-piece puzzle.
Well, I knew it. I remember it from last time.
Oh, that's all I do, I think, is work on puzzles. It's a new one, and so that's what I've been doing. And then something good for someone else. We've, in my house, both of my parents are still working, and so the 3 kiddos, they're not really kids, we're all adults, but
use that word. Oh my
God. You're the kiddos.
Kiddos.
Use that word. I hate it.
The 3 youths.
Young adult children. You were the youngest. You are 18. You were the youngest there.
We all have a day to cook dinner. So my day to cook dinner is tomorrow.
What are you
I'm
cooking?
cooking baked potatoes with chili and broccoli. Last week I made stir fry. So just like cook a meal for your parents. Make brownies, you know?
Love it.
Good idea.
So those are mine.
Emerson,
okay. First one, health, right? I already forget.
something good for your body.
Something good for my body. I'm trying, it's really easy at these times to like eat an entire bag of chips in like 5 minutes and like eat all this bad food. But I'm trying to, make sure that I don't, have a heart attack by the end of this.
Yes.
So that's something I'm trying to watch, because it's really easy to just be like, Sonic is right down the street and but
yeah.
I try to make sure I throw some vegetables. No, I'm just kidding.
Crave a vegetable.
Okay, now for the soul.
Mm-hmm.
This is something I've been doing for a while now, but I meditate like 2 or 3 times a week.
Yeah, good.
Just good. I mean, I just forget about everything bad for like a minute or 2, and it's just really nice.
Yeah.
I could probably tie into health too, but whatever. It's meditating. It's cool. Something that been challenging my mind.
Yes.
Let's see. I mean, saying I've been trying to learn piano pieces that are way too hard for me, but
Wait,
I still.
you play piano?
Yeah.
You heard it here, folks.
Prodigy.
Emerson plays piano. Okay, you're telling me stop. No, you're telling me that we had in our film class the capability to like film he with his violin, you with your piano.
Emerson's withholding information from the
He
group.
is.
I mean, I guess I didn't really talk about it.
We did it.
I don't know.
Okay, yeah, I think that's definitely challenging your mind to learn more tougher.
I'm also writing compositions too, but I don't know. It's just something to keep me bored. Something to keep me
I'm over
busy.
here doing puzzles, and
I'm
Emerson's
really
like,
happy.
I composed a musical piece.
Yeah, I mean, I'm annoyed I didn't know these things, but I'm very happy that you're doing them. So.
Okay, that's good. And now for other people.
Yes.
So I've been working at the Hesston vet clinic for about 2 years, and 2 days ago I got a text from not my boss, but like the front desk lady, and my boss, who's the vet over there. His name's Dr. Gary Baylor. His daughter, who was in her 20s, just passed away the other day.
Oh, wow.
And so we're gonna get him something, just like help him cope with it. Just horrible, but I feel like working there for 2 years, and he's helped me get through high school with his paychecks. So the least I can do is like help him out with this. So
Yeah.
I feel like I'll feel pretty good once I help him with that. So
yeah. That's awesome, Emerson. I think that obviously there's a million things that are harder right now, but I think funerals, not to get morbid here, but like having a funeral right now is just so hard because people can't gather, and like that'd be so hard. So that's awesome, Emerson. Okay, Dylan, you're up.
All right. For my body, well, I'm a personal trainer, so I can't say working out. That's not really like
all your day. All
right.
day.
But one thing I missed was baths, because in China, like, there's no bathtubs anywhere.
Okay.
So I've been taking a lot of baths, right? Just soaking, kind of like meditating, like Emerson.
Yeah.
So I'd say that's like both my body and my soul.
Yes. Yeah.
Also, like my soul, I've been spending time with my dog because he's here and I'm in China. So
It's that connection. Yeah.
Can he have a guest appearance? Can you get him?
Jello, come here. Come here. Here he is.
Because if there's
Is your
one
dog
thing
named-
during this time,
his
it's more
name's
dogs.
Jello.
Hey.
Jello.
Why do you spell it that way? I've always wondered that.
Because he's not a dessert. He's a dog. So
Wait, is Jello a dessert?
Jello is a dessert.
Is
Yeah.
Jello a dessert?
No.
Why,
Okay, here's a
why,
poll.
why would we need to talk
We're gonna put it
about
on Twitter. Is Jello a
Yeah.
dessert? We'll put it
Jello's
on.
I
a
vote
dessert.
no.
Yes.
Do you enjoy starting these things, you masochist?
Okay.
For other people, I have been posting like online workouts for like my clients and stuff like that. Follow along workouts and stuff on Instagram for people. And for my mind, I've been like, trying to come up with some of those home workouts is kind of hard, especially like I'm used to throwing weights around instead of doing like booty workouts for moms. So like, so kind of coming up with those is a little challenging. And also just like for personal training, it's all about more certifications you get. So I just registered for another one online and I'm taking this online kind of class for that. So
Good.
both of those.
Good. That's awesome. Well, I should probably answer, I guess. But
Yes.
I good for my body. I've been like living outside, like trying to no, I have a better one. A, living outside when it's nice out, but B, some of my friends have a group text and we're working from home and like sitting in front of our computers all the time and it's awful and we don't ever like do that normally. Like every hour getting up and doing like squats, push-ups, abs, like every hour, and like it goes so fast. That hour goes so fast. But like stopping for like 10 minutes and doing something quick every hour, 5-10 minutes, it's been really good. For my soul, I think I've gone through like a lot of pictures and I have been going through like a lot of footage that we took this year, and like I just really like all that and kind of like organizing that stuff. So that's been good for me, looking at old pictures and that kind of thing. And challenge my mind. I'm reading more, trying to become more accomplished in my reading.
What book are you reading right now?
I have literally, you asked me that, I have 3 books I'm reading right now. One of them is like a spiritual book, and it's called, what's it called? It's called I Don't Wait Anymore. And so like that's like that kind of book. And then second one is like a woman empowerment book. It's called Text Me When You Get Home. And then the last one is a fiction, and that Where the Crawdads Sing. So like I'm reading 3 different kinds of books right now.
Yeah.
And then for someone else, I feel like I just want to do that all the time. Because I don't like living alone right now at all. I don't like being alone. And so I'm just like, what can I do for someone else? So I've been helping, I've been like working for Mrs. Govert at the Nest, just like helping her out and keeping that small business going. And so been helping her keep things going there. So yeah, that's been good. Dylan, thank you for joining us and being our guest today. So
No problem. Thanks for having me, guys.
appreciating your perspective. It was really cool. So
Yeah, of course.
all right.
Everyone, circle up now and you answer these questions.
Seriously though, ask those 4 things. Like think about those every day. Like something for your body, for your soul, for your mind, and for someone else. So they're, I think, a good like guideline for your day. So yeah. See you later.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.